So the camera shut down. It may have already said low battery power, I don't know, I wasn't paying enough attention, I suppose. But in any case, just as I spoke of emptying a pack, it shut down. So this is the next session. I already smoked the last cigarette. The, so to say, ritual is simply that I strip down the old package into a kind of a pile of flat shit that goes into my smoker's trash. And I really, this is why I flatten them, that it takes up less space, and one trash bag will last longer. I don't like taking out the trash, and I don't like wasting trash bags. No. So I go through this process of annihilating each emptied pack before I smoke that last cigarette. Strip it down. Oh, and there's a piece of plastic which has to be removed in a certain way. One must squeeze the package kind of flat all around 3 remaining surfaces, and then just slide down that plastic wrap by its corners, as it were. This. You can't squeeze it against the package, because that produces enough friction, it seems, that it just won't move. So in any case, that's that part, and then stripping off the plastic thing, which is accessed near the tax stamp, and taking out that liner thing and throwing it away, flattened as best possible. Then I can smoke a cigarette, that last cigarette. So now I'm going to smoke the first cigarette. There's no particular ritual around that I can think of. I pretty much always, bang, bang, bang the cigarette, tamp it down, tear off the filter, voila. Tamp again, and light up. I buy when I can, like when I have the car to get to or whatever. When I get to be near to a place that sells the €10 package and has a whole stange, typically, like near the post office, I buy a 6-pack of 35 cigarette XXL packages for €10 each, €60. When I was an early smoker, as I must so frequently recall, cigarettes were 25 cents a package in the U.S. behind the garage. I was going to say barn, but that was behind my garage. I think I remember Lucky Strikes and Walter, my friend Walter, who is still my friend Walter, and he's looks like living the life of a lovely old man. There's a little Facebook connection there. In any case, what's interesting, well, what I kind of wanted to talk about was something triggered off by Jordan B. Peterson, a recently viral philosopher. In any case, to, so to say, make yourself better every day. So this resonates, let's say, maybe it's just metaphorical. This resonates with my natural, which I call engineering tendency. Maybe I inherited some of it from my father, in any case, from Daddy, who wanted me to be an electrical engineer. I said, no, I'll be a chemical engineer. I didn't really know what the hell chemical engineering was about. Well, until my last year of high school, when I made a quasi-continuous flow process for making 2-iodopropane, entered it in the state or NURC or whatever science show and won first prize. I've got a plaque someplace. I think I still have it. That was chemical engineering, and you could say my first job immediately was a little chemical engineering, buying the parts necessary for and setting up a distillation, a precision distillation apparatus. Very refluxive, so that the separation of stuff was adequate. The stuff being trifluorostyrene, which could be polymerized into a fluorinated hydrocarbon network plastic that apparently was useful for fuel cells at the time. In any case, I got to set up the chemical engineering apparatus, and I got to distill trifluorostyrene from its reaction mixture and test it on the gas chromatograph to make sure that it was up to purity standards, and seal it in ampoules. I don't remember weighing anything or I don't remember how to measure the amount that would go into an ampoule, unless it was just how much it holds up to kind of the neck or something. I don't know. I don't remember. In any case, that was pretty much my chemical engineering. Then I taught myself electrical engineering. Bought parts from a junk dealer, mostly 90%, which became a strong habit, buying shit from this junk dealer, electrical shit, which is what Sherry and I called it when we were still together, electrical shit. Ultimately, I filled a basement with it, a basement laboratory in the house that Sherry and I bought together. And while she would be outside sunning herself in the bikini or something, I would be in my basement tinkering. In a way, I've always been in the basement tinkering, even when I was interested in chemistry and rocks and model airplanes and ships. In the basement tinkering. Today there is no basement. Perhaps the only distinction is that there's this smoking room with computers and a table full of shit that is sort of my trademark. I mean, really it is. I've got to show you. I think I can. Yeah. I mean, that's full of shit, man. Even my basement electronics lab furnished with electrical shit wasn't quite as useless as that pile of shit is at the moment. In any case. And then I kind of equate myself with that. And now here's the thing about Jordan Peterson, who's really a very interesting character. Don't compare yourself with somebody else today. Compare yourself with you yesterday. Something like that. At least I'm paraphrasing it. And that resonates with this engineering mind that is always looking at things consciously or not, I think. Whether there's an improvement possible. I mean, one of the things, there's now an extra rubber band here. There's a little too much space at the bottom, and and I don't like the worn out heel that caused this sock to transmogrify, or whatever you might call it, transgenderize into a water bottle insulation gadget. I have lots of them now. I'm collecting them. Well, every month or two, I guess I use up a mayonnaise jar and create a new one. So they're growing. In any case, I just gotta have another cigarette, sorry. This is supposed to be fun. That's 13 minutes, so during the day, I tend to measure my cigarette consumption versus how many hours since I've been kind of basically up. I don't take it too seriously. This lighter's on its way out. I have a huge number of lighters. Because every time I buy an entire 60 € Stange, the retailer offers me a lighter. And usually if it's a spark wheel lighter, like, I don't even know if I have one anymore. My goodness. Oh, I think that's one, yes. Like this. You know, spark wheel. Doesn't work, even though it's full. Which I don't like and I don't use. I mean, in severe emergency, of course, but that never happens. There's so many collected. In fact, last time around I refused. Thanked. But no thanks. In any case. And I can't easily dispose of them, at least unless they're empty. I think if they're empty, they're trash. But if they're not empty, then they're a hazard to somebody who handles the trash or whatever. I don't know if that's true, but there's probably a law against it. Oh, I've got low battery already. Well, so in a way, the ritual around ending a pack and going to the next, as it delays gratification, seems like it's kind of in the useful direction. Not too much of that, but in principle, it seems like deliberately delaying gratification to manage something that at some point must be handled, like throwing away the empty pack and opening the new one. So the ritual, so to speak, is an improvement because it makes a conscious issue of delaying gratification. Now, many things I try to optimize in terms of efficiency. I mean, that's one algorithm, let's say. And so, if you can do 3 errands on one trip, that's better than 3 separate trips. Unless those trips are made by a lazy motherfucker that will hardly ever get up out of his chair. And so it's more effective of what matters that I stand up 3 times and walk off to wherever and come back. Now, I don't always do it that way, but I see the benefit. And so it's kind of like what's good in one circumstance is not as good in another. And paying attention to circumstances, like I being a lazy slob who doesn't want to stand up. But yesterday, I had a 3 or so hour adventure going off to Google on Erika Mannstrasse, 33, with a yellow gate underneath a curved arch, and spoke with a handful of young people, the early stage workers, let's say, about various stuff which made no sense, almost no sense to me. But the point of it was to get input that might in some way improve their product, their future product. Mostly I just chatted. So, in fact, in one case, I told a young man, a Jew, about my history of becoming a Jew, with my son's bar mitzvah and my heart attack, and Dad, if you want to be so holy, why don't you have a bar mitzvah? And on until conversion, and Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagafen. My voice is shit. Borei. So that's the blessing over wine, and I'm a Jew. So if they come for the Jews, they're coming for me. My Jewish name is Baruch, blessing or blessed. In any case, there is this kind of background happening in the way of something in this brain often wondering, is there a better way to do this? In any case, it was good to go out and shop at Rewe and 40 euros and Frische Paradies, less than 10. Surprising. Usually it's 25 or 40. But I just got tuna sashimi, just under 200 grams. Perfect. 200 grams ought to be it is my standard, that's how much I want phrase. But anyway, it's just a little less, and actually that's not so bad. I enjoy it, not as much as hamachi, but hey. But there are thoughts of investigating whether there's Japanese grocers, for example, that might sell imported from Japan hamachi, which would be fantastic. It would probably only require a little research to find out. So that's a project that I might pursue somehow online or something. Japanese grocery stores in Munich. Availability of frozen hamachi somehow in Munich for any halfway reasonable price. Yes, that's one of the incompletenesses in my life. Another one is good, and that's always a question, and in fact doesn't apply, I think, anymore to commercial ice creams. Good buttered pecan ice cream that I used to love and have made myself a bit. Lately, however, I just eat pecans. Fuck the ice cream. And lately I've taken to using ice cubes in my cola and my limonada, and so refilling the ice cube tray, and recently I've advanced to a little plastic box that'll hold I think about half the ice cube tray, and another littler box that'll hold 2, and then that leaves 2 or something over, I don't know, for a drink, and then I can refill with water and have no gap in the availability of ice cubes. I had been doing only half with water each time, and lately I've switched to doing the whole thing by virtue of having these larger ice cube holding containers. This is 24 minutes. I'm sorry. I just couldn't help it. Let's do this with 2 hands. Sayonara.